Y'all don't have to leave those off. I'll do them just like I do
our meetings. That every time one rings, I just collect them, so I keep count them that way. We're in a meeting, might get some more. But no, we're excited to be here. Very glad to be here from Florida State. Like I say, I guess it's been almost 40 years since Florida State's been here, and it was kind of ironic that Coach Bowden was our speaker today, and had him being there and planned it 6 months ago. How things work out sometimes, but we're very fortunate to be here. We're excited to be here. I've been part of this bowl 3 other times. It's better every time. The hospitality and anything, I guess I always say Chick-fil-A is associated with is always done first class, and it's been that way this time. And our players are excited, and we're looking forward to a great game in South Carolina.
As Coach Mitch said, we're really excited to be here, and we're having a lot of fun. The Chick-fil-A Bowl staff provides a lot of opportunities to have fun, and this is kind of a bowl game that I've always looked forward to playing in. Hope to get here, and so we're excited to look forward to this game. It's going to be a great game against South Carolina, and we're definitely looking forward to it.
In my opinion, it's a great place to be. It's fun and educational as well. We got to go see some Martin Luther King memorials, and we got to eat a lot of good food in it as well. And, we're practicing real hard for this game, and it's a great game to be at. The hospitality, like Jimbo Fisher said, and we're just excited to play this game.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions.
I apologize. I understand you addressed this after practice yesterday. Can you review Christian's status and how he's progressed?
He's ready to go. I declared him yesterday. I anointed him. No, he's ready to go. He's practiced well for 2 days and made all the throws and did everything he's had to do, and there's been no swelling or no repercussion. I think his body's more sore than his elbow is. He's been sitting on his tail for a month. Hadn't been doing much. No, but I think get back in the rigors of practice. Now, he's been running, staying in condition, but I think he's ready to go. We're excited about him playing, and we think he's going to be ready to play.
Okay.
Coach, with Christian, will you probably go ahead and stick him in there the whole game? Do you know at this point, or could EJ get some snaps?
I can't tell you all that. No. We may play in 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters. No, we'll go by here, and then he'll play. And I'm sure EJ's ready to play too. So what we're really, I wanted to go a couple hard days of practice, and I'll go the third hard day, and then we'll make decisions on everything we're going to do. But plan on him playing. But EJ's ready to play too, and had a great week of practice in those 8 days back in Tallahassee. So we'll make that assessment here in the next couple of days, and I'll set them both down and tell them what we're going to do and see how we're going to do that. But I wanted to wait and see how the wear and tear of practice really affected it.
Jimbo, what was it like just sitting next to Coach Bowden this morning and having him back around for a bit?
It seemed like we've been there. It was about a year ago. We were sitting in a meeting again, just talking just like we hadn't missed a beat. And it goes back because we have such a great relationship. That's the thing that people really, I think, still don't really appreciate, that our relationship. And even though we don't talk, he's given me the room, and I've given him room. I don't want to test back into him and asking him questions, because that first year adjustment to him and all the things he's doing. But we were sitting there, and it was like we were sitting together 2 days ago and just started talking again. And it goes back again to our relationship and our background together. I mean, it goes back 25 years. And when I first met him and being around him, so it was such a comfort zone. And we talked about all kinds of things, the players and what's going on and what you're doing and how we're doing. And I mean, it was just like a normal conversation.
Christian, same thing for you. What was it like just having Coach Bowden back around?
Yeah, I mean, it was great to hear him speak again. I don't think there's anyone really like Coach Bowden. And, I love his humor, and I think it just we miss him a lot. And so it was just great to see him again. We haven't seen him in a while, but it was a great opportunity to see him.
Christian, how does somebody go about getting a degree so quickly when you're playing Division I football?
Well, I came in with a lot of hours from high school, took AP classes and stuff. I think I came in with 21 hours, and I'd always try to take 15 hours a semester, and then we're always doing summer school. So we're in school year round. So I just try to take advantage of the opportunity that I had.
Did you get a crack at the Wonderlic yet? Have you seen that or taken any pre?
I did one last year. I can't remember what I scored. I know I scored in the 30s. I don't remember what it was though.
34 or something like that. Somewhere around 34, 35, something like that.
Okay. Coach, I wonder, do you remember back when you first crossed paths with Coach Spurrier? I know you guys go back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, we do it as competitors. I've never, just recently have I, the head coaching venues, and we share the same agent as a thing. So, I've been around Steve in that capacity. But, as a competitor, when I first crossed paths. I remember it was 1993. We were at Auburn, and we came back, against each other. But he was a guy, a young guy coming up who was, at that time, was really ahead of the curve in throwing the football, and a guy that I studied and did a lot of research on. And we were in the same conference. So the film, you saw a lot of things they were doing. But as I've gotten to know him as a person, I really liked him. I mean, I really have. I enjoy being around Steve. Great competitor, great guy.
Coach, what's he like on the golf course, though, in our golf?
We weren't in the same foursome. They were in the foursome behind us in the golf challenge, But they say he's extremely competitive and hates to lose because golf. I mean, that's his one love. I mean, he's very serious about his golf. That's the first thing he asked me about. How's your golf game? He asked him that at the table today, but I know that's something. And Steve's a very good golfer. Very good golfer.
Right.
Jimbo, how does his IQ translate to calling plays and running your offense? You got any examples?
I'm sorry?
How does Christian's IQ, his ability on the Wonderlic?
Well, I mean, what it does, and people say this about Drew Brees and Sean Payton. I heard him say it's a lot of the same ways. Sean Payton is very aggressive in his play calls. They say he gets the ball down the field, but it's only there, and Drew only does it when it's there. He doesn't checks out of it when it's not, or gets to another player, gets the ball down to the check downs. It allows you to call the game so much. You can be aggressive, throw deep balls or whatever you got to do. And if the shots are there, you got them. But if you don't, guys going to drop it down, take a 4-yard gain, keep you in 2nd and 6, and be able to move the chains. And some guys can't do that. I know I've been with some great quarterbacks that you called it and you had to be 1 or 2, and they throw the ball down the field or throw it away. But what Christian does, he either checks out and gets you in a better play, or will check it down and get you when the shot's not there or the big play's not there. Allows you to stay ahead in the sticks and let you be very aggressive. Because I know when I call it, if they get the right look, we're going downtown. If we're not, he's going to get me into something else that gets us yards and gets us another great down and distance so we can call it again the next play. And it does change the whole way you call the game, big time.
Christian, with the Senior Bowl coming up for you after this, have you already made your decision that you'll definitely play, or is it something you're going to wait until right before the game to really decide what you're going to do?
I think we'll have to see how my elbow turns out after this game, but I haven't really thought a whole lot about it. I want to play. I mean, it's a great opportunity, and I'd love to take advantage of it, but we'll see how that plays out.
Who will you kind of sit down and discuss this with Coach, and whoever else will you talk to?
Probably my dad and whatever age I'm signing with as well.
Christian, what's your thoughts on South Carolina defense from your film studies?
They're very athletic. There's just different looks. They bounce in and out of 4 and 3 down stuff. Aggressive. They can be aggressive at times, and it's gonna be a tough challenge for us in offense. We're probably one of the better defenses we've played all year.
Markus, can you talk about South Carolina's offense? How do they compare to some of the
Probably one of the best receiving corps we're going to go against. They got a running back who's a big player, and they're a very good team overall. They got a quarterback who has experience, and we're going to have to pretty much play our keys and stay disciplined and stop them. Nothing's going to be easy, but that's why we play the game.
Markus, following up on that, have you started to judge their 2 tackles, Nunn and Eckerson? And what have you seen out of those 2 guys?
They're pretty good guys. They're pretty athletic. Not like the biggest guys, but they're pretty athletic. And I know that works out with the feet work and everything. So as long as I can stay disciplined and get past that and play my keys, I should be all right. But as a whole defense, that's how we play anyway. One guy helps another. So if I play my keys, he plays his keys, we'll be all right.
Markus, I know we've seen on statistically you guys have really improved this year, but confidence-wise, what have you guys seen in this defense's improvement this year?
Statistically, we have a lot of things that we're proud of and everything, but we pretty much play off of the passing of the game. We play off like what we do in practice. You know what I'm saying? That's where our confidence comes from. How good we play against this offense that we go against, who's a very good offense, and we just play the scout team and we get good looks, and that's where our confidence comes from, in my opinion. The statistics that comes with the game, but what we do in practice is how we what we play off.
Jimbo, this will be your last game coaching Christian. It's been just talk about your relationship and
I said that to our guys. When you come to this bowl game, you don't want to be sad. This, as a team, sometimes you realize this is the last time this team will ever be together. This group of guys will never be together again, and that's something that's very special. But then you get down to individual players, and watching him grow as a player, and watching his confidence grow, and his belief in what he is, and who he can become has been great. And there's certain guys in your career you coach that you get very close to, and you get close to a lot of guys, but he's special. I mean, he really is. He embodies everything. When I think of, when you as a head coach think of what you want people to think of your program, the athletes you develop and who you have out there, I mean, he embodies all that. I mean, as a person off the field, what he does as a student, and then what he does as a competitor on the field. Not just his greatness as an athlete, but like we were talking about today, what I'm impressed with about football players, which I'm about our whole team right now. I think we have a team of competitors. I really do. I believe our team is a great competing team, and never, whether it's good or bad, we compete the same way. But Christian embodies all that with his work ethic, his toughness. I mean, most guys would have played about 2 or 3 ball games this year in Savannah. Hadn't missed anything, except for till the end when he finally couldn't go in the championship game. And it embodies everything that I envision for people to think of when they think about Florida State football players.
Right here in the back.
Coach Fisher, you've experienced the bowl experience as an assistant coach. Now it's the first time as a head coach. What is it that makes this bowl experience special for you and the team?
I think, Atlanta, first of all, they have a great city. I think Atlanta's a great city. But I say this, Chick-fil-A represents what I think is right about the bowl experience. I mean, everything they do is first class. Whether it's the golf experience that I experienced last year, every time I've came to this bowl, it just gets better and better. And then they're giving back to the schools with the dollars in which they give back to scholarships, to helping, underprivileged children, to the kids in the hospital that need help. Everything that Chick-fil-A stands for is about the betterment of the human race, like Coach Bowden spoke about today in FCA. Our country at times right now is struggling. We know we're struggling economically, but we're struggling, to me, as people sometimes. I think because our values have left. Chick-fil-A's hasn't. And they've been a great organization, and everything they've embodied is always great. And I think it's an honor to come here, and every time it just gets better and better.
How about from a player's perspective, the bowl week experience? How has that been for you guys?
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we've been to bowls in previous years, and they've tried to do some events, and but this is special, and we're having a lot of fun. Dave and Buster's, the go-karting tonight. We're looking forward to all that, and they're giving us a lot of opportunities to not only have fun but learn with the Martin Luther King Jr. Place yesterday, which was awesome. I think a lot of people got a great learning experience out of that and came away impressed. I didn't know Congressman Lewis's story, but to hear that was very impressive. And so there's a lot of great opportunities for a lot of guys on this team.
My opinion, it's fun. Like I said earlier, it's fun. We got to do everything we want, but at the same time, we still learning stuff, and we get to practice. Practice our great facilities, everything else. I mean, we're in the Georgia Dome, first time playing in the Dome, and it's a good experience overall. I get to be with my teammates for this last bowl game, this last trip, and I think it's a good way to go out.
Christian, to go back to what Coach Fisher said about some players may have only made it through 2 or 3 games this year. How difficult has it been for you through the season to get through the elbow situation, and how does it feel now compared to at other points?
I mean, it hasn't been too difficult. I think some people can get frustrated about it if they let it, and I was just wanting to play and compete. And I think when you have that number 1 goal in mind, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I spent a lot of time in the training room, but it's football. Everyone inside the training room. I mean, it's just the physicality of the game, and the year's gone really well. And when you win, it makes things a lot easier.
And now, how does it feel now?
Oh, it feels fine. Past couple practices, no swelling or anything, no pain. I'm just getting my body back in shape and getting my rhythm back. But other than that, I'm fine.
Right here.
Jimbo, with Bo being out, how are you handling the tight end rotation right now?
Well, Jabbar's being there. We can mix some things in as moves the tight end. You can use a fullback to do some things. Matt Dunham has the capability, and John Johnson, will be in there in our rotation doing some things. So we'll have guys in there.
Here in the middle.
Christian, following up on the question I asked Coach, just talk about this being your last game with Coach Fisher and how close you guys have been.
Well, I wouldn't be in the position I am right now, heading, my career afterwards without Coach Fisher. I mean, he developed me as a quarterback, challenged me a lot, and the past 3-4 years, I've grown tremendously, and I don't think I ever dreamed of being in the position I am right now. And so he's helped me out tremendously, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity that he's given me and helping me grow.
Coach, how do you balance saying goodbye to Christian and your other seniors with teaching the youngsters that you want to be in a national title game next year or beyond?
Well, I think we want to send the seniors out. We want to have a 10-win season, which I think is always magical. I think double-digit wins in the season, always is a standard, whichever one, tries to set. I think what the seniors have done, and I want those guys to go out with a great taste in their mouth of a great experience at the bowl game. But what I've been the happiest about, what I've thanked our seniors about, is they've showed us how to win again. They've showed us how to work. They've put us back in a situation where we're back in the national title talk. I mean, as far as who Florida State is, we won some big games. We were in an ACC championship game. We're a factor in our conference again. And to give them what they have done for us to set a standard with these young guys of how you work and how you overcome adversity. And I think, and then these young guys, with their challenges, to carry that on, so when the next group of freshmen come in next year, they can look at this group of seniors and juniors and say, this is the way things are done. This is the way we're going to do it. I don't have to look around and ask what to do. I know what to do and what I'm expected to do. And I think that's what our seniors have done this year. They have set that standard for the rest of this team. So next year, that team needs to carry it on to the next group. And you start to build tradition. Then you start to build a program and not a team. And that's what I'm excited about, what our seniors have done. And at the same time, like I say, winning and going into the offseason with a big win, I think, is critical, because I think it sets a standard for your offseason. And I think it puts you where you want to be in the polls next year. And there's no discarding that. And it also lets them go out with a double-digit win total, being a state champion of Florida in the last year, and, putting us back in where we want to be.
Okay, right here.
Christian, where do you think the program has come the farthest since last January when Jimbo took over as the head guy?
Where's it come the farthest? I mean, there's just huge differences. I think, I think we're playing as a team. I think, in the prior years, everything was separated between offense, defense, special teams, and you kind of lose that bond between players. And there's a whole different level of unity on this team, and guys learning to play for each other, and which raises the level of competition. And, because you're not playing for yourself, you're playing for that guy next to you. And I think that's something we've learned and grown into, and it's being established in this program.
What are your thoughts about, direction-wise after you leave?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of disappointed that I'm leaving at this point in time. Hearing about all these recruits coming in and where this program's going, it's unfortunate that I'm leaving, but they're definitely headed in the right direction. And it's going to be exciting to see what's going to happen next year and the following years, and I'll definitely be watching. And but I was granted the great opportunity of being here for 5 years, and hopefully be known as part of the class that helped turn this program around.
Christian, was there ever any consideration after 3 games to just shut it down? Was there any serious consideration for you?
No, not at all. No.
Jimbo, can you talk about when you recruit a player like Markus, when you get a relationship, and then Lattimore, and then you see him years later? Have you seen him this week?
No, I haven't had a chance to see him. It's funny, right after the bowl game, we got to know we were going to play each other. His stepfather texted me from his mom and him and said that they were glad we were seeing us, and they enjoyed it, the time we were together, and his mom enjoyed me, and I texted back and said I enjoyed him. And Markus was a special young man, he really was. And he left the state to his home university, which I understand, he's done a great job. But it was, I got pretty close with him and got with his family, really enjoyed him. But they texted and wished and congratulated us on a great year. I congratulated him on a great year and was happy that Markus was achieving what he's achieving and has a great future. And it is kind of, but that happens in recruiting all the time. You go recruit those great players, and then you have to play. There's certain guys, like you say, he's one of those guys. Certain guys you recruit and you miss, you say, okay, he's a good player, we'll play against him. There's other guys say, man, I hope I don't have to play against that guy. He went to South Carolina, I say, good, I don't have to see him. He didn't go to Clemson, but that gonna turn around and gets me in a bowl game. So, but there's certain guys that are tough to play against, and he's definitely one of them.
Back.
Along those same lines, did you recruit Steven Garcia, and what's your thoughts?
No, Garcia, he was a year I just came to Florida State. And, we had quarterbacks. We had Christian, we had Xavier Lee, we had Drew Weatherford, we had Devontae Rich. We already had 4 guys on the roster on scholarships, and everybody had eligibility left. And I didn't come in until January of that year, if you remember. And it was such a late in the process that, we didn't sign a quarterback that year. So, but we definitely, when I was at LSU, we went down and saw him and visited him and really liked him and knew he was athletic and had a great arm and was going to be a really good player.
Any more time for a few more questions?
South Carolina's last visit here didn't go well, but nevertheless, it's 2 straight games for that team in this facility. What kind of factor is that in this game?
I don't know. They know where they're going. I don't know. I mean, playing in a dome, I guess, if you haven't been in one, I think maybe gives you a little advantage. I mean, you know, you're used to the different environment, how you play inside, but I don't know if it will be. I mean, once the game gets going, it's going to be blocked and tackled just like it is outside, and I don't know if that'll really be a factor in it. Hope not, anyway.
Marcus, Christian was talking about your class of guys. Can you talk about what that class, you know, what makes you guys special? What kind of makes you guys a little different?
I noticed a lot of guys in the past in this class might not have been like the standout players, and over time you can tell the progression that people made and got better and better. I see a lot of the players, you know what I'm saying, that who maybe were shadowed by other players who were great players ahead of them, but now they're coming out to make their own name for themselves and leaving a legacy like everyone else in this class is, and this program is planning on do for years and years more.
And Marcus, could you talk about Lattimore, the running back, and what you've seen? You mentioned him before, but just what makes him?
I see a guy who doesn't go down by arm tackles, a guy who won't quit. You know what I'm saying? As long as they give him a chance, he's going to keep going. He's going to keep running. He'll catch a pass out the backfield. As a whole team, we're just going to, you know, make sure that he can contain everything and keep him in his place. And we're going to keep playing because, you know, no arm tackles. You know, nothing that great running back can just get through. You know, we're going to have to play to the highest expectations and the highest potential we can to be this good team.
All right, time for a couple more. All right.
Christian, what did you get out of the Oklahoma game? What did personally? I know not just for the team, but for you. How did that impact you?
I mean, it was definitely a learning experience for us. I think we probably went in that game a little overconfident, and it was kind of a reality check for us that we got to go back and not change things, but just work even harder and prepare even harder. And I think it woke some guys up. It obviously was a turning point for us in the season. We won the next 3, 4, 5 games, and next 5 games. And so I think it was. Obviously, you didn't want to go through that. It was definitely a negative part of the season, but it ended up turning positive from the learning experience that we had.
How did it affect your play going forward?
Personally, I don't know. I mean, it's a learning experience for me. I mean, I had to learn from mistakes that I made, and obviously it wasn't a good game for me, but I think as a quarterback, those are the games that you learn the most from, and you can progress, and you can take it one way and then get down the dump so you learn from it. And I learned from it, and I think it's made me better.
All right, final questions, right here.
Jimbo, you guys have a new family member coming to the staff, is that right?
Oh, yes, with Mr. Coley. Yeah, James is there. He'll be flying out tonight, and his wife will give birth tomorrow to a new part of his family, which will be tomorrow morning, I believe, at 6 o'clock. She's scheduled to go in for a C-section, and our prayers and thoughts are with him, and he'll finish up practice day, and he'll get on a plane and fly back to Miami and be a new daddy.
Will he be back?
Yeah, he'll be back the very next day. He'll be back next morning. I mean, that evening or the next morning. I think it's the morning of the 30th. I believe he'll be back.
All right, time for one more.
This seems like a step up in bowl stature from what y'all have played the last few years.
No, most definitely. I mean, it's the number 2 bowl in the ACC. It's our number 2 team, and the quality of the bowl and the competition, and it definitely is. It's a higher tier bowl and a great bowl. And like I say, if you can't go to the BCS out of our conference, this is definitely the bowl you want to be in, and that's where you want to go to. And ultimately, the BCS is your goal. But like I say, if you can't, this is a pretty good alternative right here.
All right, with that, we'll go ahead and thank you, gentlemen, for your